Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Girls, we have done up to Victorian age. Now we are going to do modern age in English literature, also known as modernism and also known as 20th century literature. As you know that 1901 can be fixed as the year of the end of Victorian age and the beginning of the modern age, for it is the year of Queen Victoria's death. So modern age remarkably starts with late 19th century and extends up to 1961. Some other names of modern age are age of disillusionment, age of machine, age of innovations, age of war, age of interrogation, and the last one, the sixth one, which I haven't mentioned here, that is the age of disintegration. These are the other names of modern age. There is something important to explain which is confusing for some students, that many great writers, novelists and dramatists were born in Victorian age, but they are considered modern. Why? Because their famous works were published in modern age. On the contrary, see that Hardy lived up to the third decade of 20th century and is still Victorian, as most of his important works have already been published in Victorian age. So this was something confusing which I explained you. So before we proceed, let me explain something very important. That's the difference between modernism and postmodernism. You can see that I have marked modernism from late 19th century to Second World War, and postmodernism from Second World War to 1961. What makes the difference? Question is, what makes the difference between these two eras? The difference demands a detailed study and we are going to discuss it later. Today my focus is on modernism. What is modernism? Its introduction, its features, how is it distinguished from Victorian era, its characteristics, its eminent writers, and so on. So today we are going to discuss modern era. I already told you that it starts in late 19th century. It is followed by Victorian age and extends up to 1961. What is modern age? Actually, modern age is a revolt against Victorian age. It's very significant. It's a revolt against Victorian age. A self-conscious break it is. The moderns were fed up of the traditional ways of writing, both in poetry as well as in prose. So before we proceed, let us have a view on the salient features of Victorian literature. If we sum up Victorian age, we see that they paid too much emphasis on culture, society, parenthood, religion, rules and regulation, and most importantly, tradition. But as soon as Queen Victoria dies, people show the signs of revolt against the so-called Victorian tradition. So modern literature is experimental. The writers experimented with form and expression. It's very important. And when we talk about the features of modernism, the first one, which I told you, a clear departure from the compromise and stability of the Victorian age. And the second one, modern literature experimented with literary form and expression. When I say that modern literature experimented with literary form and expression, what does it mean? It means that modern writers are quite different in style and they are using new techniques. New techniques have been introduced in this age for the said purpose. For example, expressionism, impressionism, stream of consciousness, etc. This is a very, very important feature of modern age. The question arises that I said the writers of the modern era innovated new techniques to express the new sensibilities of the time. What do I say? They innovated new techniques to express the new sensibilities of the time. That is why this age is known as the age of innovations. Obviously, the question arises that what were those new sensibilities? Actually, there were a number of significant and unignorable incidents, happenings, discoveries, and inventions that actually puzzled, that actually baffled the human mind, the modern man, the modern writer, the modern reader. And they were not able to continue with the Victorian norms and traditions anymore. Girls, this is all for today. I have tried my level best to explain some of the features of modern era. How is it different from its preceding age? In my next lecture, I'm going to explain and elaborate, in fact, and list all those factors that resulted in the new sensibilities of the age. This phrase is very important, new sensibilities of the age. Till then, Allah Hafiz, stay blessed and safe from Corona. Thank you very much.